Every single day, more than 5,000 people over the age of 60 are diagnosed with cancer in the United States alone. But here's what most people are never told. One of the world's leading oncologists says there's a daily habit so simple, so completely free, and so backed by decades of research that it could dramatically cut your risk of developing the most common cancers after 60. And no, it's not a supplement, it's not a special diet, and it has nothing to do with expensive medical treatments. If you're over 60 or you love someone who is, you need to hear this. So, what exactly is going on inside the body after 60 that makes cancer risk skyrocket? And more importantly, what can you actually do about it starting today? That's exactly what we're going to break down: the science, the habit, the research, and the practical steps you can take at home right now. Let's start with why cancer becomes so much more common after 60, because understanding the why is what makes the solution click. As we age, our cells go through a process called senescence. Basically, they get old and worn out. They stop dividing properly, they start producing inflammatory chemicals, and instead of dying off the way healthy cells should, they just sit there, causing low-grade chronic inflammation throughout the body. This is sometimes called inflammaging, a combination of inflammation and aging. And oncologists now consider it one of the biggest drivers of cancer in older adults. On top of that, the immune system weakens. Your body's ability to detect and destroy abnormal cells, the ones that could turn into tumours, slows way down. So the playing field shifts in favour of cancer, not because your luck ran out, but because of very specific biological changes happening inside your body. Now, here's where the research gets exciting. Dr. Lorenzo Cohen, one of the leading integrative oncology researchers at MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is consistently ranked as the top cancer hospital in the world, has spent decades studying lifestyle factors that control these exact biological mechanisms. And what he and his team found is that one particular daily habit directly reduces chronic inflammation, improves immune surveillance, lowers circulating levels of cancer-promoting hormones like insulin and IGF-1, and even influences how your genes express themselves. That habit is structured, consistent, moderate physical movement, specifically a daily walking practice combined with intentional stress reduction, done every single day without skipping. Now, before you click away thinking, I already know exercise is good for me, stay with me, because what the oncologists are actually saying goes so much deeper than walk more. The specific way you do it, the timing, the combination with other elements, and the consistency pattern, all of that changes the biology in ways that most people have never heard explained properly. Let's talk about what happens inside your body within the first 20 minutes of a brisk walk. Your muscles start pulling glucose out of the bloodstream, which drops insulin levels. And insulin, especially chronically elevated insulin, is a direct growth signal for cancer cells. It essentially tells abnormal cells to keep dividing, keep multiplying. When you walk, you cut off that signal. Then, around the 25 to 30 minute mark, your body starts releasing a cascade of anti-inflammatory proteins, including something called interleukin-6 in its anti-inflammatory form, which is different from the inflammatory form your body produces when you're sedentary. Your natural killer cell activity, those are the immune cells that hunt down and destroy cancerous and precancerous cells, spikes significantly during and after moderate exercise. Studies from the British Journal of Cancer found that people who walked briskly for at least 30 minutes a day had a measurably higher natural killer cell count compared to sedentary individuals of the same age. That's your immune system literally getting sharper and more effective. And here's the part most people don't talk about. The dose matters enormously. This is where a really common mistake comes in. A lot of people over 60 think that if a little bit of exercise is good, going really hard must be better. So they push themselves too much, feel sore, skip a few days, and then the habit breaks completely. But the research is very clear that for cancer prevention, especially in older adults, moderate and consistent activity beats high-intensity occasional activity every single time. A study published in the journal Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers and Prevention followed nearly 140,000 women over several years and found that those who walked briskly for 7 or more hours per week had a 14% lower risk of breast cancer compared to those who walked for less than 3 hours per week. And the benefit came purely from walking, not from intense gym workouts. Your goal should never be exhaustion. It should be consistency. That's the switch in mindset that changes everything. Now, there's another piece to this that's just as important as the physical movement, and most health videos never touch on this. Chronic psychological stress is one of the most underestimated cancer risk factors after 60. When you're under constant stress, your body floods itself with cortisol, and cortisol over time suppresses the exact immune cells that protect you from cancer. It disrupts DNA repair mechanisms. It promotes the kind of chronic inflammation that makes cancer cells thrive. So the oncologists who study this most closely don't just prescribe walking, they prescribe mindful walking, walking with intention, walking without your phone, without headphones, without a racing mind, focused on your to-do list. Just 10 of your 30 minutes spent walking in a genuinely calm, present mental state has been shown to meaningfully lower cortisol levels and improve immune function in adults over 60. Here's exactly how to build this into your day in a way that actually sticks. The first practical thing you need to do is anchor your walk to something you already do every day. Habit researchers call this habit stacking. You attach the new behavior to an existing one so your brain doesn't have to create a brand new routine from scratch. If you always have a cup of tea or coffee in the morning, that's your anchor. The moment you finish that cup, you walk. Not after you check your email, not after the news, right after that cup. That one anchor has been shown to dramatically increase long-term habit adherence. The second thing is to start smaller than you think you need to. Seriously, if you're currently not walking regularly, do not start with 30 minutes. Start with 10. 10 minutes every single day, no exceptions, for 2 weeks. Then go to 15, then 20, then 25, then 30. The biological benefits of walking build cumulatively over weeks and months, not in a single session. A 10-minute walk every day for 30 days does more for your cancer risk profile than a single 3-hour hike. The compounding effect of consistency is what drives the immune changes and the inflammatory marker reductions. The third thing, and this is surprisingly important, is to walk outside whenever you're able to. Exposure to natural light, especially in the morning, regulates your circadian rhythm, which in turn regulates cortisol, melatonin, and your immune cell production cycle. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone, it's also a powerful antioxidant that has been shown in multiple studies to have direct anti-tumor effects, particularly for breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers. When you walk outside in natural light, you're supporting your body's melatonin production cycle in a way that walking on a treadmill indoors simply can't replicate. The fourth practical tip is to pay attention to what you eat within the 2 hours before your walk. Walking after a large, high-sugar meal spikes your blood sugar even further and creates an inflammatory response that counteracts some of the benefits you'd otherwise get. Oncologists recommend walking in a mild fasting state, either first thing in the morning before breakfast or at least 2 hours after a balanced meal. This maximizes the insulin-lowering effect and enhances the anti-inflammatory cascade that makes the habit so protective. The fifth thing is to bring someone with you at least 3 days a week. social connection is not a nice-to-have add-on for cancer prevention. It's a genuine biological necessity. Research from the journal PLOS Medicine found that loneliness and social isolation were associated with significantly higher levels of inflammatory markers and suppressed immune function in older adults. Walking with a friend, a spouse, or a neighbour simultaneously gives you the physical benefit and the social immune benefit. 2 for 1. Now let's address something that comes up constantly. Really widespread myth that holds a lot of people back. Many people over 60 believe that if cancer is going to show up, there's nothing you can really do to prevent it because it's mostly genetic. And it's understandable why people think that. We hear so much about BRCA genes and hereditary cancer. But the actual data tells a very different story. According to research from the American Cancer Society, only about 5 to 10% of all cancers are caused by inherited genetic mutations. The vast majority, over 90%, are influenced by lifestyle and environmental factors that are within your control. Genetics can load the gun, as they say, but lifestyle factors are what pull the trigger. And the research on exercise and cancer prevention is now robust enough that the American Cancer Society officially recommends regular physical activity as one of the top strategies for cancer risk reduction. Another myth that's worth addressing is the idea that it's too late to start if you're already in your 60s or 70s. This one is simply not supported by the science. A landmark study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that adults who became physically active in their 60s had significantly lower rates of cancer and cardiovascular disease compared to those who remained sedentary, even if they'd been inactive for most of their lives. The body's ability to respond to movement, to lower inflammation, and to rebuild immune function doesn't suddenly shut off at 60. It's never too late. The biology doesn't stop working just because you waited. There's also a common mistake in how people think about rest days. Some people over 60 take rest days even when they feel fine, assuming their body needs a break every other day. But for moderate walking, which is low impact and genuinely gentle on the joints, daily movement is actually better than alternating days. The immune enhancing and inflammation lowering effects of walking peak around 12 to 24 hours after a session and then begin to decline. If you walk every other day, you're spending half your time with those benefits fading before the next walk. Daily walking keeps those protective effects running consistently, like a slow, steady, protective current running through your immune system all the time. Let's also briefly touch on what the research says about sleep, because it connects directly to this habit in a way that's genuinely surprising. The oncologists who study lifestyle and cancer prevention are increasingly treating sleep as non-negotiable because during deep sleep, your body ramps up the production of cytokines, immune proteins that target infection and inflammation, and activates your natural killer cells. When you walk daily and expose yourself to natural morning light, your sleep quality measurably improves within a few weeks. And better sleep directly enhances your immune system's ability to detect and destroy abnormal cells. So the walking habit actually creates a downstream improvement in sleep, which creates a further improvement in your cancer protection. It's a self-reinforcing cycle that works in your favor. The practical daily routine that oncologists recommend for adults over 60 comes down to this. Wake up, get morning light within the first hour, ideally by walking outside. Walk for 30 minutes at a pace where you can talk but feel slightly breathless. Do this every single day. Include 3 social walks per week. Eat a balanced meal rich in vegetables and whole grains afterward, and protect your sleep by dimming lights after sunset. That's the full protocol. No gym membership required, no special equipment, no expensive supplements, just your body, some daylight, and a pair of comfortable shoes. Now, everything shared in this video is grounded in published research and the recommendations of leading oncologists. But it is educational information, not personal medical advice. Everyone's health situation is different, and if you have existing health conditions, a history of cancer, joint issues, or heart problems, please talk to your doctor before starting or changing any exercise routine. Your physician knows your specific body and your specific risk factors, and they can help you tailor this in a way that's right for you. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this information reach more people who need it. And if you have a parent, a friend, or a loved one over 60 who you think would benefit from hearing this, please share it with them. Subscribe if you're not already, because every week we break down the latest research on longevity, disease prevention, and healthy aging in plain language without the fluff. Drop a comment below and tell us, are you going to start a daily walking habit? Have you already been doing this? We read every single comment. And next week, we're covering something that's been blowing up in the research world, the one specific food that multiple oncologists are now calling the most powerful natural anti-cancer compound ever studied, and why almost nobody is eating enough of it. You do not want to miss that one.